Sometimes the most powerful voice you can have is the one that doesn't speak. In a world that never stops talking, silence can be your greatest weapon. It's not weakness. It's not avoidance. It's strategy, it's strength, and it's clarity. When you stop reacting to noise, you begin to control it. When you learn to embrace silence, you unlock a kind of strength that very few people ever experience. Most people confuse silence with weakness. They think if you're quiet, you're unsure, or maybe afraid to speak up. But the truth is, silence is not surrender, it's mastery. It's the ability to stay centered in a world that's constantly trying to pull you off balance. It's knowing that real power doesn't always need to announce itself. Real power is calm, measured, and deeply grounded. When you react to everything around you, you give away your control. But when you stay silent, you hold that control in your hands. And that's where true strength begins. Every day, life will test you. People will criticize you, doubt you, and try to trigger you just to see how you respond. And in those moments, your instinct might be to fight back, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong with words. But that reaction, those words, are often what drains your energy and takes you off your path. Silence, on the other hand, allows you to observe the situation clearly. It gives you time to think before you act, to respond from wisdom instead of emotion. When you stay quiet, you stop being reactive and start being strategic. You're no longer dancing to someone else's rhythm. You're moving to your own. Silence has a way of intimidating people who rely on noise for validation. When someone attacks you and you don't respond, when someone tries to get a rise out of you and you stay calm, it throws them off. Because silence doesn't feed their ego, it starves it. It shows that you are not controlled by their energy. And when you can hold that kind of composure, you've already won half the battle. You're not ignoring the situation, you're mastering it. You're sending a message without saying a single word. I'm not going to lower my vibration to meet your chaos. There's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you don't need to defend who you are. You don't have to shout your worth or prove your capability. When you truly know yourself, you understand that your actions, your results, and your energy will speak for you. Silence becomes your statement. It becomes a declaration that you're not here to compete with noise. You're here to create impact. And that impact doesn't need volume. It needs consistency, focus, and purpose. Think about the people you admire most, the ones who seem unshakable. They're not loud. They don't need to be. They carry an energy that says, I don't chase validation. I embody value. That's the kind of presence silence builds. It teaches you patience. It strengthens your emotional control, and it gives you power in moments where others lose theirs. You start to notice that not every comment deserves your response. Not every insult deserves your time, and not every argument is worth your energy. You begin to conserve your strength for what truly matters. Silence is a discipline. It's not easy to hold your tongue when your pride is being tested. It's not easy to stay calm when you feel misunderstood or underestimated. But the moment you learn to choose silence over reaction, you gain something far greater than temporary satisfaction. You gain long-term peace. And peace is priceless. Peace gives you focus, and focus gives you the power to win quietly while others are busy proving themselves loudly. When you're silent, you can hear what others can't. You start to listen to what's not being said. You become more aware of people's intentions, their patterns, and their energy. Silence sharpens your intuition. It allows you to read situations with precision. That awareness gives you the advantage, because while others are reacting emotionally, you're observing intelligently. You can predict outcomes before they happen, you can sense opportunities before they appear, and you can see through illusions that words often disguise. So, when life gets noisy, when people talk behind your back, when doubts surround you, when you're tempted to prove yourself, pause. Don't waste your breath defending your name to people who are determined not to understand it. Don't spend your energy trying to convince anyone of your vision. Instead, let silence do the work. Keep your focus on your goals. Keep your energy aligned with your purpose, and let your actions speak the truth. Because one day, your results will be so loud that the same people who doubted you will have no choice but to listen. Remember, this silence isn't weakness. It's strength under control. It's the ability to hold your power without needing to show it. And when you master that, you stop chasing validation and start attracting respect. You stop wasting words and start building results. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. Let silence be your strategy, your protection, and your power. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Silence is not just the absence of words, it's the presence of awareness. It's a sacred space where clarity begins to form, where thoughts start to make sense, where the noise of the world fades long enough for you to hear your own truth. Most people run from silence because it makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to face themselves, their fears, their doubts, and their truth. But that's exactly why silence is so powerful. It's the place where your real growth begins. When you choose to be still, you create a space between what's happening and how you react to it. And in that space, you find wisdom. Every day, the world throws noise at you. Notifications, opinions, expectations, demands. Everyone is talking, but very few are truly listening. You're surrounded by voices trying to tell you who you should be, what you should do, and how you should feel. The problem is, when you let that noise in constantly, you lose touch with your own voice. Silence helps you reconnect with it. It's like turning off all the background sounds so you can finally hear your own heartbeat again. In silence, your mind begins to declutter. You start to see your life for what it really is, not what the world says it should be. When you spend time in silence, you begin to notice things you usually overlook. You start to understand the patterns in your thoughts, the emotions you've been suppressing, the desires you've been ignoring. That awareness is powerful because it gives you control over your decisions. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding intentionally. You begin to move through life with more clarity, confidence, and calmness. Silence teaches you that clarity doesn't come from asking everyone for advice. It comes from listening to yourself. It's in silence that your best ideas are born. The breakthroughs you've been searching for often appear when you finally stop chasing them. Creativity doesn't thrive in chaos. It thrives in stillness. When your mind is quiet, new connections form. You begin to see solutions where there used to be problems. You realize that the answers you've been looking for have always been inside you, waiting for you to slow down long enough to hear them. The more time you spend in silence, the sharper your intuition becomes. You start trusting that inner voice that tells you when something feels right or wrong. That's your internal guidance system, and silence helps you tune into it. Silence also heals. When you're constantly surrounded by noise, your nervous system is in a state of alert. You're always reacting, always processing, always running. Silence allows your mind and body to rest. It lowers stress, restores focus, and brings your emotions back into balance. In those moments of quiet, your heart begins to release the tension it's been carrying. You start forgiving, letting go, and making peace with things you didn't even realize were weighing you down. Silence gives you space to breathe, to feel, and to reset. There's also another layer to the power of silence. It strengthens your connection with others. When you learn to listen deeply, without interrupting or preparing your response, you create real connection. You begin to understand people beyond their words. You hear their emotions, their fears, their hopes. Silence gives you empathy. It allows you to be fully present. And presence is one of the greatest gifts you can offer another human being. The more comfortable you become with silence, the more powerful your communication becomes, because people can feel your attention and authenticity. Making silence a part of your daily life isn't about isolation, it's about alignment. It's about creating moments where you can reflect, recharge, and realign with your purpose. Try starting your day in silence. No phone, no music, no distractions, just you, your breath, and your thoughts. You'll notice how differently you show up for the rest of the day. You'll be calmer, more focused, and more grounded. The world will still be noisy, but you'll no longer be controlled by it. The truth is, silence is not empty. It's full of answers. It's full of clarity, creativity, and wisdom. But to access it, you have to be brave enough to sit in it. It takes courage to face your own thoughts, to stop numbing yourself with distractions, to listen to the truth your heart is whispering. Yet once you do, you'll realize that silence is not something to escape. It's something to embrace. It's your greatest teacher. Your calm in the storm and the source of every clear decision you'll ever make. So make peace with silence, because within it, you'll find everything you've been searching for. There is a kind of power that doesn't need to announce itself, a kind of success that doesn't scream for attention. It simply exists, undeniable and unshakable. That power comes from letting your actions speak for you. In a world full of people talking about what they're going to do, there's something magnetic about the one who just does it. Words are easy. Anyone can say they'll change, they'll work harder, they'll make something happen. But action, consistent, disciplined, quiet action, that's where real transformation begins. When you stop trying to convince others and start showing results, the world has no choice but to listen. Many people waste their energy trying to prove their worth to others. They argue, defend, explain, and justify every move they make. They spend more time talking about their dreams than actually building them. But the truth is, results silence all doubts. You don't need to convince people of your potential when your achievements already tell the story. Every hour you put in, when no one's watching, every sacrifice you make in silence, every small victory you keep to yourself, it all adds up. One day, those quiet moments of effort become the loudest statement you could ever make. The power of staying quiet while you work is that it protects your energy. When you talk too much about what you're going to do, you give away that energy before you even start. You lose momentum trying to explain something that should only be seen when it's finished. Silence keeps your vision sacred. It allows you to nurture your goals without interference, without doubt, without noise. When you stop announcing your every move, you start moving with more intention. You stop seeking validation and start seeking growth. You no longer need people to clap for you. You clap for yourself every time you follow through. Letting your actions speak isn't about arrogance. It's about alignment. It's knowing that your worth doesn't depend on applause and your success doesn't need permission. It's the understanding that every great story unfolds quietly before it becomes visible to the world. The most powerful growth often happens behind closed doors. When you're working through your pain, learning from failure, and pushing yourself beyond your limits. That's the part no one sees, but it's the part that makes everything else possible. There will be times when people doubt you. They'll question your choices, laugh at your dreams, and whisper about your progress. Let them. You don't need to explain yourself to those who can't see your vision. Keep moving, keep building, because one day your progress will be impossible to ignore. The same people who once underestimated you will be the ones pointing at your success, wondering how you did it. That's the beauty of quiet work. It shocks the world without saying a word. Every step you take in silence builds inner strength. You become more focused, more disciplined, more resilient. You begin to understand that success isn't about showing off. It's about showing up, day after day. Even when it's hard, even when no one believes in you, even when no one's watching, your results will always reflect your consistency. And when you stay silent about your goals, you eliminate distractions. You stay true to your purpose. You stop living to impress, and you start living to improve. The day will come when your work speaks for you, when your results become your reputation, when your silence becomes the most powerful sound in the room. Because results don't lie. They can't be debated or denied. That's why you don't need to argue. You don't need to explain. You don't need to beg people to believe in you. Just do the work. Keep showing up. Keep refining your craft. Keep pushing forward. The world might not notice right away, but success has a way of making noise at the right time. So don't worry about who's watching. Don't waste time trying to convince others that you're capable. Let your life prove it. Let your growth speak. Let your transformation make the noise. Because the truth is, people don't respect words. They respect results. They respect the person who kept going quietly while everyone else was talking loudly. They respect the one who didn't need to shout because their success already said everything that needed to be said. Stay focused. Stay silent. Let your work echo louder than your promises. One day, your actions will tell the story of how you turned discipline into destiny, silence into strength, and vision into victory.